Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. I'm in the studio. We're live. You know what to do by now. Get involved in the comments and the chat. We've got loads of stories to get through. We're going to be talking about transfers or the lack of them. Manchester United aren't exactly making many moves in this window, leaving Erik Ten Hag presumably very frustrated, because especially when you look at what some of our rivals are doing. We're also going to be talking about the protest today. We've been down at Old Trafford outside a megastore a little bit earlier today. We spoke to one of the 1958, so we're going to be getting involved in that. But make sure you are letting us know what you think about transfers, what you think about the protest, what you think about the takeover or the lack. Seems like lack is a bit of a theme today. Lack of transfers, lack of a takeover, everything that isn't happening at Manchester United. Loads of people in the chat already. I'm just going to whiz through some of these comments as well. Bobby Hanlon, James Kelland, Flashburn52, Chris Davis, Duffinho, Rebecca Jade O'Sullivan, Colin Coupleditch, BMW Racing 1974, Liam Cohen, all saying either morning Jay or Glazers out or both. Hashtag Glazers out. Let's start with that. Let's talk about the protest this morning. So it was the kit launch this morning, and there you can see there's a tweet there from the 1958, one of the, well, the group that's organised a lot of protests of late. They were down there with a load of other people, and you can see there, 10 o'clock the mega store opens, 10:01 the mega store shut. Don't feed the Glazer greed. A bit of a campaign there to sort of hit the Glazers where it obviously hurts them in their pockets, trying to prevent them selling shirts and just get that message across as well. We spoke to one in the 58. There's going to be a full interview later on the channel, but we've got a little clip here. This is Steve from the 1958 who we spoke to this morning outside the megastore.
Well, this is a good point, because some people look at it and go, well, there's a sale going on. Surely they're going out the door. Why do you think it's necessary to sort of keep at it, keep protesting, keep sending that message out there?
Well, do you know what? For me, at the end of the day, Jay, nobody knows where we're up to with this sale. Nobody knows, apart from obviously the main people. But we've supposedly had 2 deals on the table for over a month now, and we're still none the wiser where we're heading. You know, we don't know whether they're taking A, B, whether they're looking at refunding themselves. Nobody knows anything. So, you know, for us, we just want to keep at it, doing what we've always done, and again, you know, just letting these toe rags know that we're here and we're not going away.
So big thanks to Steve from the 1958 for chatting to us, and well done to everyone who's gone down there. Getting that message across is important. It's not just about numbers. I've seen some people going, well, you need more people. You don't. The message is clear. There is still anger there. There is still the desire to hold the Glazers to account. And we want to see them gone. We're sat here now in what? June the 27th. When was it they made the announcement? Was it November that they were looking for strategic alternatives, which everyone took, myself included? That meant they were going to sell the club. That was all the reports. We know we've had a bid from Sheikh Jassim. We know we've had a bid for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. These are bids that probably are overpaying, if we're being brutally honest, for what Manchester United are worth at the minute anyway. And yet we're still seeing a scenario where not only are the Glazers still here, not only do we not know who the new owners are going to be, but also Erik Ten Hag doesn't know his full transfer budget, because if a takeover had happened, then you would have had Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Sheikh Jassim presumably releasing some extra funds for transfers, and we haven't got that. It's like the Glazers fighting, actually it's quite apt, parting gift to us is the fact that they're going to scupper yet another transfer window and probably harm next season in the process. It's just really, really frustrating, and I thought we'd have seen the back of them by now, but they're still here. But the message there is loud and clear. We want them gone. Hashtag Glazers out. Go and check out the 1958's Twitter handle. You can see any updates, any more protests that are planned, because I guarantee you this won't be the end, as Steve was mentioning there. It won't be the end of it. There's going to be more protests, and sometimes these protests just pop up. We see groups of people, groups of mates, whatever, getting involved, doing their own little message to the Glazers. It's going to keep happening. We saw it. Feels like about a year ago now, when a load of fans went down to Carrington. I know it's happened since then, but the initial protest at Carrington was a group, I think about 24 people went down there and did a protest about the ownership. So you're going to see things like that as well, and also other organised protests. So make sure you are getting involved as and when you can. And if you can't get down to the ground, if you can't go to protest physically, you can help out on social media and sort of share your opinion, share your concerns, share your messages to the Glazers, or perhaps even to their sponsors, which is obviously hitting them where it hurts, in their pockets. I'm going to get into some of the comments and then we'll move on. BMW Racing says November. BMW Racing also says Steve is correct. It's not over till it's over. Someone's saying there, Jay, the Glazers have already been paid by Adidas for the new kits, sort of question mark. regardless of whether you think that this particular process in terms of the kits is going to hurt them, process about the sponsorship will hurt them in some way. And also the message, sending out that message that United fans are unhappy, that we want the Glazers gone, that it's not just a case of everyone going, all right, now we're just waiting for them to make a decision, everything's rosy. It isn't. You only have to go on social media to see the level of anger at the Glazers, and also you can see it physically with people going down to the mega store as well. So it does have an effect, and it does at the very least, if it's not, if you sort of argue the toss about whether it's affecting them in the pocket, it is affecting them in terms of their sort of the PR, the sort of the image they're putting out there, and the fact that the message is being put out there. And sometimes as a fan, you just want to let people know how you feel. Let them know your anger. I've took part in protests in the past where the main point of the protest has been to show that United fans are unhappy with the ownership. And I've been in the protest going back almost 18 years. It's been going on for a long, long time. The protest started in 2005 when the Glazers were announced as the new owners, when we knew we were going to be put into all this debt because of this ownership model. This ownership model, by the way, that has been voted against unanimously by every club in the Premier League, including Manchester United. Leverage buyouts are no longer a thing. They're no longer allowed in the Premier League because everyone knows how bad they are. Even the Glazers themselves, who used a leverage buyout to purchase Manchester United, no, it isn't a good thing for your club to have one. So they voted against it. That just shows you the level of ridiculousness that we're dealing with here. Now, Manchester United has been well and truly stitched up. Other people in the comments as well. Jace Parker says, morning Jay, miss you mate, missing you, I'm still here, don't you worry about that. I love this one. Liam Cohen says, Ted Lasso has more football expertise than the Glazers. Absolutely. I've never watched Ted Lasso, but I'm sure he does. I think anyone has more footballing expertise than the Glazers. My 6-year-old daughter has more footballing expertise than the Glazers, and also my daughter probably cares more about Manchester United, what she does, than the Glazers do, because they just don't care about Manchester United. They just care about making money, and that's why we're still seeing them dragging their heels with this takeover. They're just trying to milk some more money out of our football club because it's ours, not theirs. So we talk about transfers as well, because it all ties in, doesn't it? Transfers have been affected by this lack of a takeover. Adrian Rabiot, it looked like a deal that was about to be done. We went in for him last summer. I think, was it his mum, who's also his agent? Was it Veronique? Had a meeting with, I think it was John Murtagh. That didn't quite work out. I think the player or his agent or his mum, whatever, wanted more money than Manchester United were willing to pay. He's a free agent very soon. It looks like he could be leaving Juve and coming to Old Trafford. However, the latest report by Italian journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, as cited by Get Football News, and as you can see it here from the Evening News, says a year on from a failed move to Old Trafford, recent reports elsewhere had claimed that United were considering another move for the Frenchman. He's out of contract at the end of this month, meaning speculation about his future has been mounting. However, he is now set to sign a new deal at Juventus. It's weird, isn't it, with Rabiot? Players like Rabiot, players like even Mount to a lesser degree. These are players that a few months ago, no one was really bothered about. No one was saying, we need to go and get Mason Mount, or we need to get Adrian Rabiot. Then we're linked with them and you think, okay, yeah, I get it. We need reinforcements. We need some options. We are a bit threadbare. We know that we struggled towards the end of the season when we had injuries and it probably cost us a trophy or maybe even 2. Yeah, it makes sense to bring in these experienced players who can do a job. I like it. Then we found out we're not getting him. So even though you didn't want him or you weren't that keen on it in the first place, by the time you get convinced that it will be a good move, it turns out these players aren't going to come. Even players that are either out of contracts in a year, in the case of Mason Mount, or out of contracts in a matter of days, in the case of Adrian Rabiot. It just seems like Manchester United are really struggling to get anything done in the transfer window. I know it is only June. It is just a little bit frustrating and annoying because you look at other clubs, they are making moves. And also, the longer you leave it, the less able you are to get certain players in, because you need to get these players in before other clubs look at them, before they sign new deals, before someone else comes sniffing around them and offers you more money than you're willing to pay or able to pay. It's just a bit of a shambles. Let's talk about another transfer target that we've had as well. This is Muani. I think we've got a story here, Kolo Muani. Says here, I think this is from Football Insider, Man United have made contact with Eintracht Frankfurt over a potential summer deal for striker Randall Kolo Muani. The 24-year-old has been on the shortlist at Old Trafford for a while, and club chiefs have now sounded out. There you go, there's another one. We're not monitoring, we're not looking at, we're not scouting, we're now sounding out Frankfurt about the possibility of making a transfer a reality. However, other targets, like other targets, Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen, Muani's price tag could prove a sticking point in a potential move. I mean, just really annoying. Muani's had a decent season at Eintracht Frankfurt, 15 goals in the Bundesliga, I think 23 goals in all competitions. Obviously knows where the back of the net is. We do need a striker. At 24, he is relatively young. You can see there the stats, 23 goals and 17 assists in 46 appearances across all competitions for the German outfit. I mean, yeah, you'd have him. Wasn't top of my list. Are we going to get him though? Probably not. Says there, like the price tag again is a sticking point. It just seems like we lower our expectations, and even when we lower our expectations, the player's still not available, or we're still not able to get them. And there, the cost of 85 million for a kid he's had a good season in the Bundesliga. Before that, I think he was in Ligue 1, where he did okay. 13 goals in all competitions, not exactly setting the world alight, but again, you might argue that he was, still young. He just seems like a good striker, but 85 million quid, not remotely worth it, in my opinion. Get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know what you think. And I worry that sometimes you get to the point, don't you, as a fan, and I'm guilty of it as myself, and just going, just get anyone, just get someone, just get a striker. And that's when you end up with people like, no disrespect, but let's be honest, people like Odion Ighalo playing for Manchester United because we just want anyone. And you've got owners who aren't willing to spend any money. SK says, Murta and Arnold have decided where to go on holiday this summer. Looks like Barca again. Frankie de Jong being mentioned again. I've seen the Frankie de Jong stories doing the rounds this morning. I didn't even want to talk about it because I'm sick of hearing about Frankie de Jong. I just don't think it's going to happen, but let's wait and see. I mean, will it happen? Probably not, but you never know. It just seems like we're linked with him every summer now, doesn't it? And it seems like Barcelona, regardless of whether they need to sell him or not, they do want money for him. And are Manchester United willing to pay that money? I'm not so sure. Let's talk about someone else anyway. Who have we got next on our list? Kudus. We've got Kudus here. This is the kid. Is this the kid from Ajax? Says here, United plotting Kudus move. According to a report by ESPN, this is in the Evening News being reported about a story in ESPN. It says, we're plotting a move for versatile Ajax attacker Mohamed Kudus. The Ghana international has been closely linked with a move to Old Trafford over the last few months and is understood to be admired by Ten Hag. The duo, of course, work together at Ajax, and Ten Hag believes Kudus has what it takes to thrive in the Premier League. Kudus, who can operate in a collection of attacking positions, including centre forward, has been linked with a move to Brighton and Hove Albion. We'll probably buy him off Brighton after he spent a season there, and we'll spend like 100 million on him or something. That seems to be the kind of thing we do. Let me know what you think. Do you rate this kid? Is he the answer to our problems? Would you have him? Let us know. I want to know what you think. I'm interested to know what you think about this lad. I've not watched a lot of him. Any player at Ajax or has been at Ajax seems to get linked with Manchester United. Is he the right man for the job? Rocco Blue says Glazers out. Ryan Milligan says season starts in a little over a month. We need to make some movements. Ash Aus says no, unproven. SK says Kudus is good, not the full package, to be honest. Max K says he's more of a number 10. We need a number 8 or a striker. Odion Sylvester says Rasmus Højlund, of course, a player we've been heavily linked with, the Atalanta striker. Even they, though, were asking for, I think, for around 86 million, which seems excessive for a player who is still relatively unproven. I don't think he's an established star just yet. Let's move on. Let's talk about Andre Onana, talking of an Ajax connection. Obviously, Inter Milan was at Ajax, works under Erik Ten Hag. Says here that Inter Milan set asking price for Manchester United to sign Andre Onana. Inter Milan won 43 million quid to part with Andre Onana this summer as Manchester United prepare an opening offer for the goalkeeper. I'm interested in this one because I think this is a priority for me, getting a new goalkeeper. We don't know what's happening with David De Gea, even if he was to stay, which is looking doubtful because I think his contract runs out in about 2 days, doesn't it? Then even if he was to stay, I still feel we need a new goalkeeper. And Onana seems to fit the bill of the style of goalkeeper that Erik Ten Hag wants. We're trying to play out the back, and we're failing. We're failing at trying to play out the back. And you have seen us come unstuck, game in, game out. Yes, we've had lots of clean sheets. And I'm not knocking David De Gea for his ability to get a clean sheet and his shot stopping. But I think you have to look at the way that Manchester United want to play and the way we're just not being able to do that because David De Gea isn't comfortable playing out from the back. And also, regardless of whether he is or not, which he isn't, he might not be here next week, so you need a goalkeeper. So we have to sort this out. We have to get a goalkeeper in, and Onana seems to fit the bill. We saw him in the Champions League final. He showed what he's about there, carrying the ball out of defence. Obviously knows Erik Ten Hag. We've seen they played under him at Ajax. And 43 million quid. I know that in goalkeeper terms, it's not cheap, but it's not the end of the world spending 43 million pound on a player who's going to start practically every game for you. Let me know what you think. Do you think he's the issue? The answer, sorry. Max K says, problem is we need a good second goalkeeper as Onana has AFCON. Luke H says, 43 million, is that a reasonable fee or am I dreaming? Gorilla Goo 30 says, very reasonable. Greg Foss says, pretty sure we'll get Onana. Exciting signing. David Max says, Onana retired from international football. Trevor says, his time is over, bring in Onana. Stephanie Griffith says, 1st July key David De Gea contract ends. Need to resolve the goalkeeper situation for next season. I agree. I think we do. I think we really do, because you can't not have a goalkeeper. And also, what are we going to say about David De Gea? What are we going to do about David De Gea? If he does take a pay cut and he is told he's not first choice, then who is first choice? How's that work? You're going to say, right, okay, you're not first choice, but we haven't got another goalkeeper, so you're going to play every game. So I am first choice. Yeah, makes zero sense to me. But then again, sometimes what Manchester United do, well, very often, what Manchester United do, especially with contracts, doesn't make any sense to me anyway. Let us know what you think about Onana. Jason says 43 million quid is a bargain. I agree. I think for a position that is vital and where he's going to play every game, 43 million quid. Make it happen. Let's talk about Moises Caicedo. This is a player we have been linked with quite a lot over the last couple of years. There's an opinion piece here in the Manchester Evening News just saying about how he could change the way Manchester United play. I think the main thing for me about the Caicedo sort of story or rumours or whatever you want to call them was this idea that when it looks like we're not getting Mason Mount, but Chelsea not prepared to accept our £55 million offer, the attention then seemed to go to Moises Caicedo, who could be available from Brighton for around 80 million. Now this is a player, don't forget, we were linked with about, was it a year or two ago, for 5 million. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted us to get him. There was issues around his third-party ownership, and it seemed Manchester United weren't willing to jump through the amount of hoops they had to do to get the deal over the line, so we didn't sign him. He went to Brighton, absolutely smashed it. His performances against Manchester United, for example, have been superb. I would love to see him at Old Trafford. However, I do sort of wonder about this £80 million price tag, especially when the likes of Chelsea are in for him as well. And if we haven't got that much money to spend, are we going to go out and spend 80 million quid on Caicedo? We should be buying him. We should have £80 million to spend on Moises Caicedo. We should also have money for a goalkeeper, and we should also have money for a striker. We should be able to make those 3 signings this summer. It's ridiculous we can't. There's no excuses for that. Manchester United have enough money. We make enough money to be able to go out this summer and buy 3 players that are essential for us to mount a title challenge. That is the level that Manchester United should be at. We should be starting to look towards a title challenge, but we're not, are we? We're sort of thinking, oh, well, what are we going to do about a goalkeeper? We probably have to buy someone. Oh, can we get Adrian Rabiot on a free? It's just pathetic, it really is. There's no excuses for it. The only reason we're in this situation is because we've got owners who even now, after all this trouble and all these 18 years of nonsense that we've got, with the stadium falling apart, a training ground that's not fit for purpose, women's teams hemorrhaging players because we can't keep hold of them because they're not willing to invest in it. And we also had a situation where Casey Stoney, I think, left because the facilities, in terms of, I think, was it a scenario where the women's team had to go for 10-minute round trip to go to the toilet or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. We're in this situation because of the Glazers. The Glazers' lack of investment, or not even investment, lack of being able to release the funds that Manchester United generate to put towards players. It's just a shambles, man. They just do me head in. The sooner they're gone, the better. Let's talk about one signing it looks like we are about to make. This is the youngster. Is it Harry Amass? Fabrizio Romano tweeted this yesterday. Manchester United are now set to sign English talented fullback Harry Amass. Deal done. It will be signed, completed this week. Amass joins from Watford. Told he'll sign a 4-year contract. I don't know a lot about this kid, but talented youngster, one for the future. Yep, make it happen. It's a bit of a no-brainer that for me, and I wish him well when he joins Manchester United. Hopefully he can have a bright future at the club. At the moment, though, the attention isn't on players that are going to have a bright future at the club in a few years' time. The attention seems to be on what's happening in this window in terms of getting Manchester United challenging for the top again. And at the moment, it doesn't seem like a lot is happening. Please hit that like button. We've got almost 2,000 people watching, and we haven't got anywhere near 300 likes, which is a disgrace. And if you're not doing as well, subscribe to the channel. We've just reached 700,000 subscribers this week. Really big thank you to everyone who's shown support, both when we were full-time Devils and since we took it over as Stretford Paddock. the support has been overwhelming, and we want to keep growing, we want to keep producing the content that you guys hopefully enjoy. So make sure you are subscribing to the channel, then you'll see it, get a little notification, you hit that bell when we do go live or when we post a video. Davidas Fratigas says, would you like to get Valencia's goalkeeper? I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know a lot about that kid. So is this the one whose name I always struggle to pronounce? Georgie Mamadashvili. Is this the one we're talking about? Yeah, he's actually been linked, I think, with a move to Inter to replace Andre Onana. So I think there could be a bit of a merry-go-round going on there. 300 likes, great to see. Can we get to 400 likes? Hopefully we can. Tom Ryder says, yeah, he's mega. Madmate Gaydon says, we should buy Balgoon. Liam Cohen says, smashed it, Jay. Yeah, I tried my best there with the pronunciation. Probably got it a little bit wrong, but you live and learn, and we'll keep going. Don't forget as well, I mentioned it earlier, we obviously spoke to Steve from the 1958 outside the protest today, outside the Megastore. We spoke to him a little bit earlier than the protest. The obviously protest took place outside the Megastore and got it closed after a minute, I think. So we will have that full interview up on the channel later on today. I think we're going to put that on around 7 o'clock. So make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're also going to have a video, I think, around 4 o'clock. Myself, me and Joe, we're going to go live then. Hopefully we'll have some updates as well, because with me on this one, are you getting a little bit worried? I know it's only June, but it is a little bit frustrating. We're sat here in June, or sat in the transfer window, and any sort of little move we seem to be making seems to be getting pushed back in our face. At one point, it looked like we were interested in Declan Rice. That ain't happening. Manchester City and Arsenal have both submitted bids. I think Arsenal put a bid in of 75 million plus 15 million, and then City did 80 million plus 10 million. Just some shenanigans going on there. The noises are, though, that he prefers a move to Arsenal. Caicedo, doubtful, being honest. Mount, Chelsea aren't having it. Rabiot, about to sign a new deal at Juve. Kane, dead in the water. Yeah, a little bit frustrating at Manchester United. Can't seem to get any transfers done early. Hopefully, though, we can get some over the line sooner rather than later. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget as well to go and check out all the other videos we've got on the channel. There's plenty there to get your teeth into. I'm Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk from the studio here in Manchester. Thanks for watching.